I'm a little bit under the weather, so forgive me if I sound different. But that didn't affect New Zealand. And it ain't gonna affect me either, baby. What a match. New Zealand with the blowout, 42-10 against Argentina. Dominant from start to finish. Wet, rainy conditions, so it wasn't the ideal situation to play rugby, but the All Blacks said, that's not going to affect us, and they put it on Argentina from beginning to end. And the stat, Eden Park, the longest streak in the world of rugby is at Eden Park, and the New Zealand owns that. Absolutely incredible. Let me know how many games and years that spans, because they were absolutely dominant. And from the first kickoff to the last whistle, man, all the stars came out. You had Artie Savia running like a machine. That man was bowling people over, truck sticking everyone. And I mean, just at first, I think it was within the first 6 minutes of the match, he bowled two dudes over. And when he hit them, they almost like counterbalanced one another where their energies offset. And he just bounced back, and it took him a little bit to get back on step, but then he took off again. Absolutely brilliant, strong, powerful running by Artie. You had amazing kicking by, what was it? Barrett was amazing. You had Bowden Barrett. You had Talia played an exceptional game. Damian McKenzie. You had Will Jordan. Absolutely great to see him on the pitch, scoring tries like he always does. And what's the stat? He scored a try every single match. Was it 32 tries in 32 matches? I know you'll correct me on that one, so let me know if I got that wrong. I always love hearing your thoughts and you guiding me in the right directions if I do miss any stats. But this game was absolutely incredible to watch. I know the turnout was a little bit less than expected because of the rainy conditions, so it wasn't a packed stadium, but I feel overall that New Zealand really did a great job in protecting their land and making a dominant statement, especially after losing in round one. And this match, it's going to set them up for the showdown out there in South Africa here in a couple weeks. So I'm excited to see the momentum that New Zealand gains from this victory and winning in such a dominant fashion. I had it being my game of the weekend for the fact that New Zealand overcame the doubters. Even when I was listening to the initial broadcast by I think it's the Sky Sports team, they were talking about how nervous they were for this match, not thinking that New Zealand would win and thinking that Argentina would pick up where they left off. And so there's a little bit of doubt in the air from what I saw on the initial broadcast, but man, they came out All Blacks and they were dominant from beginning to end. I think the massive plays, you had Damian McKenzie scoring the first try. You had Will Jordan sliding in there. You had Artie Savia running like a madman. Overall, incredibly dominant victory from beginning to end. And there's not really much I can say. I think it was, a perfect game for them. And I feel that it was such a dominant victory that they needed that motivation. And maybe not even need the motivation, right? I think that's an incorrect statement. It gives them the extra chip on their shoulder going into South Africa, because those are the two titans of this tournament. We have South Africa maximizing all their points. They're on the leaderboard for 10. You have New Zealand getting their bonus point this match. They're at 5, and then Argentina's at 4, and Australia is at 0 points. So it's still anybody's game, anybody's tournament. There are 6 matches left in the tournament, and I'm really excited to see how this one turns out. It's going to be incredible atmosphere out there in South Africa, and it's going to be my first time watching these two titans play one another, and I just think it's going to be an incredible showcase, because when you have two powerful nations like that, they only elevate one another when you get into like this biggest showcase. And so I'm really excited to see that. So I'm not going to ramble too much more, crew. Let's jump into the stats and take a look at the breakdown. So 42-10, New Zealand blows out Argentina. We see the point flow chart. New Zealand from the start all the way to the finish, right? 79 minutes in the lead, dominant. Every minute they're in the lead, right? Almost the whole 80 minutes. It's just crazy. They put it on them. They made a statement. 95% in the lead compared to 0 for Argentina. 44% in the last 10 minutes compared to 56% in the last 10 minutes for Argentina. And then Argentina scored in the last 10 minutes for the 7 points, but that was that yellow card. And I feel that New Zealand let off the gas in that last 10 minutes. They were it's sort of just like, they let the foot off the gas is what I'll say. So they allowed a try in the last 7 minutes of the match, and they had a yellow card. But overall, it was a really clean game played by New Zealand, and they did it in dominant fashion. So the key events, we started off with that first try by Damian McKenzie. He follows up and gets his conversion. Then we had Carreras getting the penalty penalty goal at the 11th minute, making it 7-3. Artie Savia, man, that guy was a bulldozer today. Absolutely fun to watch him, and I see why he was the player of the year last year. Absolutely incredible. That man is a dominant force that will not be stopped. Just has a will, grit, and determination that is uncanny. Very cool to see him play. McKenzie converts. Caleb Clark did an exceptional job. He is really coming on lately. I know there were conversations when I made that a video about New Zealand, and there were comments about Caleb Clark is inconsistent, but I think he's really finding his own flow, and that consistency is coming together, because seeing him live play against Fiji and getting his tries in that match, he's really putting it together. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Caleb Clark. I think he's going to continue to accelerate and grow, and he's fun to watch. McKenzie gets it, the penalty or the conversion, 21-3. Will Jordan gets a try. The man Will Jordan, good to see him playing. 26-3 at the 29th minute. McKenzie converts. We have Barrett getting the try, 33-3. McKenzie with the conversion. Will Jordan again with the try, and then we have McKenzie, and then this is within the 10 minutes, Malia from Argentina scores and makes it 42-8, and then Albornaz kicks the conversion, makes it 42-10, and then we have that yellow card at the 74th minute. So overall, really clean game, and that last 10 minutes, I feel that New Zealand just let off the gas and just let it go at that point. So they allowed that try, but it doesn't seem like they were too worried about it. So New Zealand had 12 entries compared to the 7 from Argentina, 3.5 average points scored compared to the 1 point scored for the 22-meter entries. So New Zealand, as we know, took advantage of all the points, and it looked like every time that New Zealand touched the ball, they were scoring. It was just magical to watch, because no matter what they were doing, just everything was so in flow, so much synchronicity, and it was just beautiful to watch. It looked like every time they had the ball in their hands, they were making it happen and scoring points. So shout out to New Zealand for coming out and making a big statement going into the South Africa matches. It's going to be fun to watch how that one plays out. So looking at the attacking profile, New Zealand wins all the categories except for the carries, and 12 for 22-meter entries compared to 7, 3.5 compared to 1 conversion for the 22-meter, 9 line breaks compared to 3, 110 carries to 129 for Argentina, and 35 kicks to 21. All Blacks take that category, and 284 post-contact meters compared to 130. Like, seeing New Zealand swing the ball around the field up there, cross-kicking, making incredible offloads, hard, powerful running, breaking tackles. They were scrappy from the beginning to end. They did not let the conditions affect them by any means, and they just absolutely put it on Argentina, and Argentina just had no answers. They had no answers at all this match, and it was surprising to see, but it was cool to see, because New Zealand, they just really captured their identity back, and then just say, like, this is who we are. That loss is not going to define us, that first one, because of errors that we made, and they absolutely came in dominantly. So defense profile, New Zealand wins every profile except for 2, every category except for 2, 20 dominant tackles to 9, 161 tackles made to 137, tackles missed 31 to 14, and that goes to speak when I'm just thinking about that dominant play. I've said it like 3 or 4 times already. When Artie Savia was bowling Argentinian players over, I know he bowled over Carreras, and he was just running like an absolute madman, a Panzer tank. Dude was exceptional, and that's those tackles, those missed tackles added up, and they were scoring at will. New Zealand was scoring at will. Turnovers 5-3. New Zealand. Tackle turnovers 2-1. Tackle offloads 14-12. And then we're looking at ruck speed, 61% to 62 goes to Argentina in the 0-3 range, 25 even at the 3-6 range, and the 6+ seconds it's 4-8%. So 80 rucks won compared to 92 in that category. So interesting to see as far as that percentage breakdown. I think how that goes in that category. So let's go up to stats. So we took a look at this. We have no drop goals. We saw the line breaks. Turnovers lost 21-14. Turnovers won 5-3 in favor of New Zealand. Territory 47 to 53% as far as territory. As I've mentioned in past videos, I'm still learning a lot about how the territory breaks down, and we appreciate all of your help on identifying these stat lines and these metrics, because it's way different than how football stat lines break down. So I appreciate you continuing to educate me and help me learn what the stats in rugby mean, because it's not always indicative of how the game was played as far as territory, who has the dominant territory compared to losing that territory gain. So I appreciate all your insight on that. Looking at New Zealand, we have starting at their 22 and going all the way up to the The opposing side's 22, 13%, 25%, 29%, and 33%. So it incrementally went up as they gained advantage in the opposition's area. And it's cool to see they were really not in their zone that much, and they were taking advantage of those conversions within the 22-meter entry. It's cool to see. And in Argentina, they were 12, 16, 46, and 26, but they were mostly sitting within the 50-meter entry for New Zealand, so they weren't able to move the ball past the 22-meter entry line, and just that speaks to the stifling and stout defense that New Zealand put on. They played a completely full game offensively. Well, I can't say offensively, attacking side, defensively, kicking. They had great box kicking. They were making effective sets happen, and it was fun to watch. They were just really playing fluid, effortless rugby. It's really cool to see. As far as set plays, 10 scrums to 8, 90% won for New Zealand compared to 75% for Argentina. 16 lineouts to 14, 94% of the lineout wins for New Zealand compared to the 86 for Argentina. Restarts received 7-3. New Zealand wins that, and restarts received wins 100%. And then the attacking profiles, we looked at these, and then the turnovers are massive, wet conditions. But even with the wet conditions, the All Blacks were playing dominant defense, and they were making a lot of those turnovers happen. So I could say it's errors, but then that wouldn't tell the full picture. I think New Zealand was making those errors happen. They were scrappy, they were fast, they were creative, and they were just flying all around the field. People were, backing each other up in their gaps and, not giving any meters away. Argentina could not get past the gain line, and that just speaks to how effective New Zealand played this entire match. So penalties conceded 10-11. Argentina has that advantage. 1 yellow card, and that's at the 74th minute for the All Blacks. No red cards, and then the defense, we looked at the tackle completions and then the kicking ratio and all that. But overall, an exceptional game by New Zealand. They were dominant. They were forceful. They were the team that, I've always heard about and used to seeing. It looks like they just gelled and they had so much cohesion, fluidity, and it looked like they were just playing a fun, solid game. They looked like they were having fun out there. All their key players showed up and they were making it happen. So I really enjoyed watching this match. I'm even just taking a look at the side, like the carries of Artie Savia, and it all went all the way down here. But I was just even looking at some of the names popping up. And man, they played a heck of a game. It was awesome to see. So it's going to be interesting to see how these next couple weeks play out. I know it's 1 week off while they're traveling over to South Africa, and we know those stadiums are going to be sold out. I believe they're already sold out, so I'm interested to see how those matches turn out. It's going to be a showcase of my summer and early fall, and I'm really excited to see it. It's a clash of two titans. My first time watching these two giants play one another. It's going to be amazing rugby. I know they're going to bring it, and the cream's going to rise to the top, right? They're going to continue to elevate each other's game because you have to show up. And just like when I watched Sonny Bill Williams talk in the documentary for the All Blacks, he's just saying every other test match, it just feels like whatever, like if he's playing another nation, excuse me, but going to South Africa, he's like, you gotta strap up and you gotta take it seriously, because they're gonna play physical, they're gonna play dominant, and they're gonna play you all the way down to the wire. So both of these teams never give an inch. They believe in themselves. They have so much culture, passion, and history, and so there's a lot on the line for these two test matches. And both of these teams, they're rivals, right? But I would say bitter rivals, but then there's that respect factor, as we know in the world of rugby. But it makes for an incredible showcase and competition when you have teams that have that amount of respect and love for one another, and they know they have to bring their best effort to the table that game. So I want to know your thoughts, Qrew, and hit me in the comments below. What do you think about this match? And if I missed anything, always be sure to let me know and correct me. I always appreciate you continuing to educate me and grow and learn in this game. I'm still new, still putting in the effort on learning all the teams, nations involved, and really trying to get better at my analysis and breakdowns and just grow as an individual. I'm only 7 months in the world of rugby, 6.5 months, and it's been like drinking from a fire hose, and it's cool to see the growth, and it's even just more of a blessing to connect with you and have great positive conversation in the chat. And I always like where we can continue to grow and educate one another in the comment section from a respectful manner. So I appreciate you all for continuing to cultivate that awesome environment that you all built here, and I appreciate you so much. I love you. We'll catch you on the next video, and if you haven't already, drop into our Discord in our descriptions below. Rugby Pub, we talk offline about anything: life, family, rugby, upcoming matches, share pictures, photos. Love to see you in there. Always stay laser focused on your dream and your vision, excuse me. And remember that you're in control. I love you, Qrew. Peace.